for the first time, are allowing outside investors to participate with us in many of our top-tier private equity opportunities. Join us in our monthly webinar at ifcfunds.com. Capital Appreciation Development Fund. So if we take a look at the Capital Appreciation Development Fund, this first fund is a $5 million fund. We've already made the investments and are looking now to allow pre-screened investors to participate in this investment with us. So it's important to understand a little bit how it works. These investments have basically 4 phases. The first phase is the pre-construction phase, the planning phase, the phase where typically the developer will purchase the land, make the plans, do all the permitting. And so that period could be anywhere between a year to 2 years in the pre-construction phase. During that pre-construction phase, the investors are on an accrual basis. They are accruing 6% annually in this particular case. Then the development goes into phase 2 is the construction phase. Once the construction phase begins, which means that they're actually digging and putting columns and going floor by floor. Again, this period could take anywhere between 18 to 24 months, maybe even as high as 30 months sometimes to completion. The equity investors are earning 10% annual return on their money. Then phase 3 comes along. Phase 3 is the closed unit phase of this investor, where the investor receives typically in a 6-month period. This is after the building has been completed and actual closings begin to happen. This part of the whole process works in the following way. During the closed unit sales phase, which is phase 3 of this investment fund process, the investor receives cumulative 6% if he was invested during the pre-construction, cumulative 10% for the period of construction if he was invested, and then he receives 100% return of the capital. Typically, it could happen in 30 months. It's happened to us in 30 months. It's happened to us in 32 months. It's happened to us in 38 months when we have participated in these deals. And at that point, there's a return, obviously, of the 6 to 10 and 100% of capital. Phase 4 is the profit sharing phase of this investment. In most of our funds, it's 80-20, and this one it is 80-20, which means 80% for the investors, 20% for the fund's manager. And there's also a collection of management of fees over assets managed, which are all disclosed in the private placement memorandum. If you're interested in investing with us, and if we talk about returns, like we said, the 6 plus the 10% during those different phases, and then we are looking at 2, 3, maybe even 4xing the total amount of principal invested, depending on how fast the units get sold and how fast they complete the project and how fast, what percentage they do sell. In most cases, we do see where 4 years into the program, they're finally going to make the changes. At the end of the project, which is really the final phase, is that the developer hands over all the unsold units to basically the equity partners, and the project gets turned over to the homeowners association. So the condominium can start its life, if you will, from being a new development project to a new condominium. At that point, there is a meeting by the developer where the developer does distribute and assign units depending on what the percentage of equity ownership is in the transaction. These funds are not available to retail clients. Typically, they're only reserved for very large institutional clients. So we're offering something a little bit unique here that nobody has. Number one, we are investing in these projects ourselves. So we're allowing a percentage of our investment to be participated by you, the accredited investor. And number two, typically it allows truly passive gains, income and capital gains. Why? Because the investor is not responsible for the project management, is not responsible for any of that stuff. There is a developer in place. However, we do have our accounting team, our legal team, our auditing team, which is going to help us manage the fund side of this to get you assured. All the information for these funds is found in the IFC Funds investor portal, where if you're interested, we will have copies of the private placement memorandum, the operating agreement, the subscription agreement, any other legal docs that we disclosed. Also, our monthly meetings, we will disclose there as to what's happening in the projects, how's it going all the way through completion. This fund, very different than our other funds where they're a little bit longer in term and you're receiving quarterly income distribution. If you're interested in investing in the Capital Appreciation Fund, I urge you to go online to ifcfunds.com and press on the button to have a one-on-one conversation with me or any of our other real estate specialists here at IFC Funds, and make sure that we answer all your questions and you can go ahead and make the investment through our investor portal. Thank you.